Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're recording our video from our new work area. It's not set up yet. We just wanted to get it over here. It was actually brought over here because Robert uses this system to print. And he just was going to see how it was going to work over here. So now I'm going to record over here.
Print shipping labels.
Yeah, print shipping labels. So
I kind of sprung it on her. We were going to do it after we came back from my parents because we're going to be busy. But Friday she had a doctor's appointment and I drug it all out here, and she was probably wondering why I hadn't started shipping yet, and like, I could just hear, why hasn't he started shipping yet? It's like 10 o'clock and he's been up for a while and nothing's happened. I was dragging a table. I set up a new table and I had to drag over a computer and
all the
power
shipping
strip,
supplies.
all the shipping supplies and all of that. But theoretically, this is our current idea, is the two shelves right behind her are going to move and come over to the side and hold shipping supplies. And we have one in the basement that we've been using for shipping supplies that I built that works great. But I think we're just going to leave it over there and I'll use it for my shop stuff. But those two are going to go away, and then you'll have the back of shelves number, what is that, 77 and 78?
Yeah.
And we're going to put the pegboard up there to hold all
my toys.
all her toys. And then that will be the background view again once we get that set up. And then she's going to be working off to her left over there.
I'll be down a little bit further.
Doing her photos and stuff. And then we'll have the photo clothing board set up over here that I could move around and put into place real quick when I need it.
Nope.
That's the plan.
It's getting there. It's fun. It's fun knowing pretty soon everything is going to be over here. And hopefully we won't be dragging eBay stuff into the house other than to clean, because we don't have a water source out here. This is my What Sold video for last weekend, Friday through Sunday, January 24th through the 26th. And y'all, I had amazing sales. I think I had 3 relatively high dollar stuff that sold that weekend. I want to say my sales were way over $1,500 for the 3 days. So, you know, it was a good weekend. And then this week is just kind of, I think eBay's working in the backgrounds. I'm not going to say it was a bad weekend. I mean, a bad week for me. It was just like one day would be, you know, here, and then the next day would be way up here, and then the next day was way down here again in that little graph that eBay shows us on our seller hub. So it's just been odd. I mean, yesterday I had 0 sales. I want to say up to like 3 o'clock. None. And then I got some overnight. So not up to my average sales that I like to be, but close enough because it was a whole lot better than 0. So I've never had a 0 day that I can recollect forever. So
Here we go.
famous last words, right?
Famous last words
All right, let me go ahead and show you what's sold on Etsy. Etsy has been doing pretty good for me. But I had run a sale through the end of the month and didn't start a new one. I had not sold anything in the last 2 days. So I'm hoping now that I've started up my sale again, I think like eBay, it just shows favor in the algorithm. And I tend to sell more when I have a sale running on there. And since I have one running on eBay, might as well, right? So I had, I think, 5 sales on Etsy and then quite a few to share with you from eBay. First thing that sold were these Peanuts frame tray puzzles. These are the cardboard ones. They're from my Snoopy lot that I bought this past summer. These 3 puzzles sold for $17.95. This was a gunned pink rabbit plush from 1982. Very similar in shape as the Snuffles, but this was a pink rabbit. 1982, sold for $26.95. This was an Animal Alley pink and red monkey plush from 2000, sold for $17.95. This was an Ace Looney Tunes Sylvester and Tweety plush, sold for $17.95. And then last was this Walt Disney 101 Dalmatian from 1985, sold for $13.45. And then eBay. Lots of really good sales to share. This first one was sitting on a shelf that I had upstairs full of stuff that needed to be tested and cleaned. Finally got to it. Been listed since the summer. It was a Miro pressure canner cooker, sold for $50. This was from when I was going through all of my profit totes at the beginning of the year. This was just little penguins that go to a little game that carries them up the stairs and then they slide down. I thought, why not? Just go ahead and list them since I had 2 of them. They sold for $7.62. More stuff from the Snoopy lot. These were some pewter figures. They were Lucy and Charlie Brown, sold for $12.11. This is a viewer sale. I had quite a few viewer sales, so thank you guys for supporting my store and my channel. This was another one of the Billy Goats that sold by Aurora, sold for $16.16. Thank you very much, Terry, for purchasing this.
What was the old story about Billy Goat Gruff? Was that like a troll or something?
I think so, a troll under a bridge or
he
something.
headbutts it or something?
I don't remember. I don't remember the whole story. It was kind of a scary story for little kids. Cabbage Patch Kids pink bottle from 2008, sold for $8.05. Squishmallows, not doing them anymore, but some of the Hug Me's are worth picking up. They're kind of the skinnier, long plush, not the big fat ones like the Squishmallows normally are. I don't remember where I picked this up. Must have been a Ben's pickup. $9.86. Lamaze Little Naughties Lovey security blanket from 1997, sold for $22.45. The next 2 sales are from Sherry. Sherry bought these 2 items when she saw them in a recent haul. She bought the Bunnies by the Bay purple insect plush for $17.95. And she had to pick up this Build-A-Bear chimp plush. It was different. It had to have been older because there were very few that were shaped like this one. And so she picked that one up also, $22.45. So thanks again, Sherry.
So what was that first one?
An insect?
Yeah, you said it was a purple insect. I was just wondering if it was like the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
Nope. Cue the song.
Door looks strange to me.
All right, another viewer sale. So thank you, Stacy. Stacy picked up this Dakin baby deer plush and the Fiesta rabbit plush for a total of $19.72. So thank you, Stacy. This was a lovey. I pick up tons of loveys. Some of them are bread and butter. Some of them do a little better. This was from Barron's from 2016, little yellow rabbit, and it sold for $11.66. This might be my best sale. I had several high dollar sales, but this one was by First Peak. It was a terry cloth bunny rabbit. I tell you guys all the time, definitely look up any plush that you find that are made out of terry cloth. This one also had some color blocking, which is another, it seems anything that's color blocks seems to do very well also. Now this transaction started out a little weird because the buyer sent me an offer for like, I want to say $25 or $50. And I counter offered, and then they came back with another counter offer and stated, why is this so much? And I just explained that, it's a very hard to find plush. Just my normal little answer to those types of questions. Hard to find, not very many listed, none sold recently, that type of thing. And then when I counter offered their offer, they ended up buying it $120. So just because somebody starts with a low offer doesn't mean it's going to go wrong and that you should decline it and block them. I see that so often. I don't block people. I don't put people who send me lowball offers on my block bidder list. I just don't. It's once a transaction has happened, if it makes me unhappy, then you're going on my block bidder list. Same as them. They have the right to leave me neutral or negative feedback. I have the right to put them on my block bidder list. So, just don't get too emotional when it's those lowball offers. Just kind of play it out and see what happens. Beyblades, launcher lot, set of 17. Probably pick these up at the bins or like in a bag at one of the consignments, or no, one of the thrift stores that I've been to. I tend to if I find a bag of stuff, I just put it all in one lot. If I was at the bins and I picked up a whole bunch, I would just put all of them. I'm not going to mix and match my lots because I don't know what I've got. I do not know Beyblades. But this set finally sold for $32. All right, Mattel Tough Stuff Pink Mixer. There's a whole series of toys in this Tough Stuff category. I've showed you guys some ABCs and some numbers. There's a stroller that does very well. There's a saw. There's just quite a few toys, and they're this kind of odd, very thick plastic. This one was from 1972, and it sold for $15.25. All right, 7 for All Mankind women's jeans sold for $22.21. I Google lens this. No markings anywhere on that. Come to find out, it is from Our Generation, which is also Batat. It was just a pet goldfish bowl. I had a lot of some clothes listed. I just decided to list this by itself. It took about 4 months to sell, and it sold for $7.62. Fisher Price Little People Play School Accessories. I'm not remembering where I picked these up, but they've been only listed since December, and they sold for $21. Probably when we were down, either from the Goodwill bins or when we were down in Florida. All right, I had a baggie of children's barrettes. There were a lot of homemade bows in that bag also. I ended up separating everything out. There were very few matches in this, but I decided to just go ahead and line them up by color, and they sold in less than a month for $15. All right, another viewer sell. She said that she remembered this from her childhood when she saw it in one of my recent videos. It was the musical Santa Claus animated figure. It did end up working, and I have a video of showing it. And Vivian went ahead and picked it up as soon as she saw it for $19. So thank you again, Vivian. The Preppy Pelican Octopus Plush. Been listed for a while. I got a $13 offer on it. Make it gone. Shorts. I think every What Sold video I've shown selling shorts. These were some Tommy Hilfiger women's shorts, size 8, sold for $10 offer.
One of the issues we're having with moving everything to the shop is internet access. Mm-hmm. Right now, we can ship, and we did this video using our Wi-Fi hotspot, but it's not the fastest thing in the world. It works. It's functional. We would prefer to have Wi-Fi over here or some version of internet service. We don't want to set up a new service over here and pay another $100 or $120 a month for service in our shop. So we're looking at different methods of getting internet out here. My first thought was to just bury a Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable and run it from a router in the house. But I was researching that. Apparently that will attract lightning really bad for some reason, and I'm not really wanting to attract lightning to our property any more than nature already sends it here. So we're going to scratch that one out. I've heard that running fiber works because it doesn't attract lightning. I don't know what that would cost. That might be the best choice. I got to check on cost for that. And another one is setting up point-to-point. It's a point-to-point. There's another word for it, a bridge. But basically we put a little mini pointer satellite dish kind of thing on the side of the house and run a cable to it from inside the house, and then it beams it to a second little receiver over here on the side of the shop, and then we run a cable in from there to get the internet here, and then we could have a router over here that does the Wi-Fi.
So anybody using anything like that where you're working from an outbuilding and you're trying to get internet to that building? Let us know what you're using. what you've tried and failed with. Because, yeah, I don't want to have to use my hotspot every single day over here just to do, you know, my computer and the pictures and listing it in my spreadsheet and looking up stuff to do comps, just that kind of stuff. It, I think, is going to just slow my internet down tremendously.
And sometimes it needs to run on my hotspot when I'm over here, but yours when you're over here. And what's it do when we're both over here? Does it get double speed? Something tells me no. It'll probably get confused and get 0 speed because it doesn't know which one to use.
Yep.
We don't want it to be complicated. So if anybody has experience with that sort of thing, let us know.
This was also from the days when I was going through my profit piles. I had a huge tote of smalls, a lot of smalls. And it became my chore for about a week to go through every single item in there and try to figure out what they were. I thought that this might be Polly Pocket. No, it ended up being Pound Puppies. It was a 1-inch horse, went to some type of set, and it sold for $8.05. 1 inch. Levi's women's jeans, $11.26. This was better than the terry cloth plush. Robert brought over all the Playmobil. I had picked up like 5 totes of them at an estate sale years ago, and they sat over here in the building.
Wait. They sat over here in my way in the building when I was trying to clear space to move everything over here.
Yeah, so he just brought them all over there, and I found 2 more totes. I thought they were only like these original 4, but he brought over 2 more small totes. But I just decided I have these boxes that are 13 by 13 by 10, and for all of the building pieces, I just started layering them in a box. And once I had enough in the box, I dumped it, took a picture, and listed them. I've sold 1 set of them. It may be in the next video. But this was the first of all of that stuff to sell. It was actually about 70 people figures with some extra hats and hairs and stuff. And it sold very, very quickly for $135.
I figured if she can give me a honey-do list, I can take stuff that's in my way and say, here, list it and get it out of my way.
I put it off forever. And I've already made like $270 on 2 lots. So procrastination. All right. I think we picked these up at an estate sale. But I mean, this was listed back in 2023. They took forever to sell. They were like recycled green glass bowl set. And they finally sold $26.95. Mickey Mouse plush lot was just a larger Mickey and a smaller Mickey. Again, listed for a very long time. Finally sold $11.66. All right, these were Fisher-Price Sweet Streets figures. They're smaller than like they're larger than like Polly Pocket figures. But they are way smaller than like Loving Family. So they're just, I want to say 2 or 3 inches, probably 3 inches tall. It's just from the Sweet Street series. And I had made these 2 different lots at different times. And they sold for the 2, 6 figures, $21. Oh, this was another really good sale. It's been listed a while. I had picked this dress up at an estate sale. My favorite little estate sale company. I want to say probably the first day of the sale, so I paid $5 for it. Most of the nicer dresses were $5 that day. And then as the days progressed, they went to 2, and then the last day they were 1. But this was my first ever St. John's women dress. And it sold for my full price, $129.68. All right, Old Navy corduroy pants. Anytime we find corduroy pants, we tend to pick them up. These were green, and they sold for $17.71. Fisher-Price Cozy's Snowman Plush. I want to say the bear. There's a bear, there's a rabbit, there's this snowman. It's just got that waffle weave fabric on there. This one's from 1997. It sold for $22.45. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at the bins when we were in St. Louis. Fisher-Price GeoTrax. A huge tote that I had picked up at a thrift store, paid $6.50. This was one of the train sets that were in there, and it sold for $17.95. Yellowstone Jigsaw Puzzle. Pretty sure this one was sealed. Oh yeah, no, the box was open, but when I opened up the box, the bag of pieces was sealed. Took a little while to sell, and finally I just took a $10 offer. A lot of puzzles that we sell are like in the $10 range.
So we were working on the Jaws puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
And we got it down. It was very difficult.
We were down to the dark ocean
So
parts.
I did my normal thing when it gets difficult, and I sort all the pieces by their shape. So then when I look like, oh, there's a corner that has a tab and a tab, so I know, well, it's got two tabs next to each other. It has to be one of these types of shapes. And the piece was 3 tabs, and we didn't know what the 4th side was, but that means it's got to be the 3 or the 4 tab things. And we went through every piece, and none of
I
them
did
fit.
it first, and then he went back to double check me, and we don't finish them if we find that a piece is missing. And believe me, we go under the couch and under the table, and no, it was missing. So it was sad, because that one, I didn't work on it very much. So it took a while to get put together. All right. I still have a few pieces of the Wizard of Oz stuff that I picked up again at my favorite little estate sale. I want to say it was like last December or so that I picked it up, listed it in January. And this paperweight of Toto sold for $35.95. American Girl doll fold-out bed. Found this at the bins. Sold for $17.95. Inesco, My Heart Belongs to Mom. Coffee cup from 1986. Sold for $11.44. Tiger Furbies. Now, I picked this up recently. It was in a bag of stuff, and now I'm not remembering what else was in that bag. Tested it. It made movements, but no sounds. So hopefully the person read the description and looked at the video and realized there's no talking, no sounds. I'd hate to have to see it coming back to me again, but it sold for my full price, $29.95. Gap women's capri jeans, $17.71. Coleco Cabbage Patch Kids dress. Do your research when you find vintage Cabbage Patch. Some of them are just bread and butter, and even in small lots you might still only get $15-20, but there are certain outfits that do quite well. This is one of the ones that, I think was a good sell. It was from 1985. It went to one of the silk-haired dolls. I had the doll, but she just had so many issues. I think I ended up donating her and sold the dress for $30. Tupperware handles sold. They've been listed a really long time. $10.95. Not something that I'm going to pick up again. Funny story with this is I noticed one day that we were looking for something that it wasn't on the shelf that it was supposed to be on, and we've shuffled some stuff around here this past summer, and I thought I had changed all of the bin locations. Come to find out I didn't. There's a whole shelf here that had the wrong shelf numbers on them as far as my custom SKU. So we did a quick inventory of stuff that was there, and 2 things sold just like that. This was one of them. I think the next one will be
because they weren't listed anymore, right?
No, they were listed. All we did was change the custom SKU, and 2 things sold out of that box. And I mean, this has been listed since 2023, but we changed the custom SKU and 2 things sold instantly. This is one of them. Not something probably I'm going to pick up again. Kay's collection, I think, was like vintage Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, Family General, whichever, one of those stores. It was several Halloween items that I had picked up, probably really, really cheap. Nevertheless, sold $8.96. One of my other really nice sales was this. I just picked this up recently at a thrift store. Paid $6 for it. But I've dealt with Axelon before. If you guys remember, I had that weird head. That was by Axelon also. Remember that one? It was just a head. And I sold it for like $100 some. We found it at that one thrift store, yard sale in Illinois.
Oh.
That big, ugly head
Yes,
thing.
I remember it now.
Yeah, that was Axon. So I always know to watch out for that brand. This doll, this bear was Axon. It actually said AG Bear on the bib from 1985. The sound box was with it, which is a really good thing. I recorded it. It just kind of made random noises. I couldn't figure it out. So I just put that in my video, and it sold almost immediately, $59.95. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to try to get a couple of videos that are not hauls and brands done this week. Just to kind of put some extra stuff out while we're gone on our vacation.
Because this is Groundhog Day.
Yes, it is. 6 more weeks of winter.
Because this is Groundhog Day. Anyway. So the 7th. Is it the 7th? 8th. We're leaving on the 8th.
We're leaving on the 8th.
Just as a reminder. So that's in a week from yesterday. And then so the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, we're planning to be in St. Louis. Hoping to, Laura said she was going to be there, and she's going to try to get her husband Vince to be there that day so we could visit with them again. And if anybody else is in the area, we will be at the Bridgeton Bins in the morning, early morning, and then later in the morning at the downtown on, I think it's Market Street Bins. Then we'll go grab lunch somewhere, probably over at the Foundry, because they have a wide variety of stuff there. Mm-hmm. And then we'll start downtown again when they reopen at 3, and then back out to Bridgeton. And we'll repeat that process on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we're planning to go to Jacksonville, Illinois. And unless something changes our plans, if my parents have something going on those days, I might shuffle. But that's our plans right now.
Yeah, and if it changes, I'll make a community post in the Facebook, in the YouTube page, just explaining the change of plans. But I don't foresee it.
We're really looking forward to meeting anybody that wants to meet up. And like when we go to Jacksonville, we'll be there when they open, and then we'll probably be there for just a few hours till it's time to eat lunch, and then head home after that. But we'll go eat lunch with whoever wants to meet up with us.
Yep. All right, y'all. Get to work.
Bye.
Bye.